I was chasing success my whole life, until life stopped me. My name is Richard Allen Morrison. I'm 65 years old, and I need to tell you something most people won't tell you until it's too late. Everything you've been taught about success, about working hard now so you can live later, it sounds right. It looks responsible. It's praised by society, but it's incomplete. And that missing piece costs people their entire lives. I know because I lived it. For more than 4 decades, I chased success the way I was told to. I did everything right. I worked hard, I stayed late. I climbed every ladder placed in front of me. I delayed rest. I delayed joy. I delayed life. I told myself the same thing you might be telling yourself right now. This is just temporary. Once I reach this level, things will slow down. Once I'm secure, then I'll live. In my 20s, I was hungry. I wanted to prove myself. I wanted to be someone. I said yes to everything. Long hours, weekend work, missed birthdays, missed dinners, missed moments I didn't even realize were important at the time. In my 30s, the rewards started coming. Promotions, raises, respect. People started listening when I spoke. And for a while, that felt good. It felt like validation, like I was finally winning. But something strange happened. Every time I reached a goal, the satisfaction disappeared faster than I expected. A day, maybe 2, then it was gone, replaced by a new target, a new expectation, a new pressure. So I kept going. In my 40s, I had what most people would call a good life, a stable career, a nice house, a full calendar. I was busy all the time, and somehow that became my identity. If I wasn't exhausted, I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I told myself I was being responsible, but the truth is, I was afraid. Afraid that if I slowed down, I'd fall behind. Afraid that if I stopped chasing, I'd realize I didn't know who I was without the work. Then came my 50s. That's when the cracks started showing. I was tired all the time, not just physically, emotionally. Conversations felt rushed, meals felt like interruptions. Even vacations felt stressful because I couldn't stop thinking about what I was missing at work. And still, I told myself just a few more years. Then, one ordinary afternoon, life stopped me. I was driving home from work, sitting at a red light I'd stopped at 1,000 times before. My chest tightened. At first, I thought it was indigestion, stress, another long day catching up to me. But the pain didn't fade. It grew heavier, sharper. My arms felt numb. My breathing became shallow. I remember gripping the steering wheel and thinking, this isn't supposed to be happening. I still have time. I didn't. I woke up in a hospital bed. Machines were beeping. Lights were too bright. My wife was sitting beside me, holding my hand like she was afraid to let go. A doctor stood at the foot of the bed and explained, calmly, that I'd had a major cardiac episode. He said I was lucky. Lucky. But lying there, staring at the ceiling, I wasn't thinking about luck. I was thinking about everything I had postponed, everything I had assumed would be waiting for me later. I realized something terrifying. If I had died that day, I would have left behind a resume, not a life. I would have left behind projects, deadlines, emails, but very few moments that actually mattered. Very few moments I could point to and say, that's what life was for. I thought about my children growing up while I was too busy. The conversations I rushed through, the trips I said we'd take someday, the friends I slowly stopped calling because life kept getting in the way. I thought about how often I chose work over people, assuming there would be more time. There isn't. Lying in that bed, I finally saw the pattern clearly. I had spent my life chasing a moving target. Success kept promising fulfillment just a little further ahead, and every time I got close, it moved again. The ladder I was climbing wasn't broken, it was just leaning against the wrong wall. And here's the part that still haunts me. No one forced me to live that way. I chose it, every day, quietly, repeatedly, thinking it would all make sense later. That night in the hospital, I asked myself a question I had avoided my entire life. If this is the end, would I be satisfied with how I lived? Not impressed, not respected, satisfied. The answer was no. And that realization hurt more than the heart attack itself. Because for the first time, I understood something most people never do until it's too late. Life doesn't give you warnings. It doesn't announce turning points. It just keeps moving. Until one day, it doesn't. And when that moment comes, all the excuses disappear. What remains is the truth. That night in the hospital, I promised myself something. If I was given more time, and the doctors said I likely would be, I wasn't going to waste it pretending there would always be more. I didn't know how I would change yet. I didn't have a plan. But I knew one thing for certain. I couldn't go back to living on autopilot. Because life had already stopped me once, and next time, it might not give me a second chance.
When I left the hospital, I didn't feel enlightened. I felt exposed. For the first time in my life, there was no future version of myself to hide behind. No later, no after this project, no once things calm down. There was only now. Recovery forced me to slow down in ways I never had before. I couldn't work long hours. I couldn't outrun my thoughts. I couldn't distract myself with busyness. And in that silence, something uncomfortable happened. I started noticing what my life actually looked like. The house was quiet, too quiet. My phone didn't ring as much as I expected. Most of my relationships had become functional, not emotional. I had spent decades building a career and assumed connection would be waiting for me on the other side. It wasn't. That's when I learned the first truth time teaches you, but only if you listen. Nothing you postpone out of responsibility comes back automatically. Relationships don't pause. Health doesn't wait. Life doesn't store moments for later use. So I began making changes, not dramatic ones at first, just honest ones. I started calling people instead of texting. I listened without rushing conversations. I showed up even when it was inconvenient. And I discovered something humbling. Repairing a neglected life takes far more effort than building a successful one. Some friendships couldn't be repaired. Too much time had passed, too many missed moments. That hurt, but it also taught me something important. Time doesn't punish you loudly. It just quietly removes options. I also confronted the lie I had lived by for most of my life, that success would eventually make everything else worth it. It didn't. I had achieved most of what I once dreamed of, and yet the moments that brought me peace had nothing to do with those achievements. Peace came from simple things: long conversations, shared meals, walking without an agenda, being present without needing to prove anything. I realized I had spent decades trying to be impressive when what I really needed was to be present. Here's what no one tells you when you're young. Your regrets won't come from failure. They'll come from absence. The conversations you never had, the love you didn't express, the risks you didn't take because they weren't practical, the life you kept postponing for a future that never arrived. I don't lie awake thinking about missed promotions or money I could have made. I think about the nights I chose work over my family, the vacations I delayed, the moments I assumed would repeat themselves. They didn't. That's the cruel trick of time. It feels abundant until suddenly it isn't. At 65, you become painfully aware of this. Birthdays stop feeling like milestones and start feeling like countdowns. You notice how fast years pass. You feel how fragile health really is. And you begin to understand something deeply unsettling. You don't get unlimited chances to live well. So let me ask you something, honestly. If your life stopped tomorrow, would you feel complete? Not successful, not admired, complete. If the answer is no, then what are you waiting for? More money? More stability? More permission? None of those things guarantee more time. I wish I had understood earlier that life doesn't begin when everything is figured out. It begins when you stop waiting for certainty. If I could speak to my younger self or to you, I'd say this: stop living like time is refundable. Stop trading irreplaceable moments for replaceable rewards. Stop confusing busyness with purpose. Call the people you love. Say what you mean. Take the trip. Start the thing you keep postponing. You don't need a breakdown to wake up. You don't need a hospital bed to realize what matters. But if you wait for one, it may come. I was lucky. I got another chance. Not everyone does. At 65, I don't chase success anymore. I chase clarity, presence, meaning. I choose experiences over achievements, people over prestige, life over approval. And for the first time, I feel rich in the way that actually matters. Time will stop you one day. That part is unavoidable. The only question is whether you'll start living before it does. Don't wait for someday. Someday is a lie we tell ourselves to feel safe. This moment, right now, is the only one you're guaranteed. Use it well. Because when time finally teaches you this lesson, it won't ask if you're ready. It never does.